recommend, even though a lot of people, they do it without an attorney, you recommend to have an attorney for a domestic violence restraining order?
Question, the first caller on line one, Jenny from Los Angeles.
Hi, David, Vincent. How are you doing today? Thanks for having me on the show. For a restraining order, do you recommend, even though a lot of people, they do it without an attorney, you recommend to have an attorney for a domestic violence restraining order?
Absolutely. You know, those are types of things that you don't want to try at home and do it yourself. Get an attorney who's qualified in that type of hearing, and he or she will help you, I'm sure, get you through it.
Yeah, you do restraining orders too?
We do.
Okay. And my another question, a couple of days ago, I was charged with attorney $1,500, and if they don't do their work, or if I'm not satisfied with their work, how I go with the process of changing? I want you to get your attorney instead of them. If that happens in that case, how I go with the process?
Oh, it's just filing a substitution of attorney. So your new attorney would go ahead and would. Can you hold on a second?
Sure.
Can you cancel yours? I'm sorry, we're having a technical difficulty. Somebody was playing an audio back. All you have to do is file a substitution of attorney form, and that will be filed with the court, and that would notify the court and everyone else that you are getting a new attorney.
Yeah, and what's the phone number?
Our phone number is...
No, the phone number, FORM, the phone number at the court.
Oh, the substitution of attorney? I don't know the exact form number. I'm not very good with form numbers, but you can Google it and just Google California substitution of attorney form, and you can, download that form. But the new attorney who's going to take over the case for you should be able to do that for you. That's something that you shouldn't worry about, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Jenny, thank you for listening, and please call again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure. Let's go to the next call, Jennifer from Arizona.
Hello?
Hi, Jennifer. Did you have a question to ask or a story to tell?
Question's about a story.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm actually from Pomona, Los Angeles County. I'm just visiting in Arizona at the moment. Child Protective Services, it's been over 2 years now. They took away my daughters, who at the time were 2 and 5 months, on false allegations, and that I could prove are false. And they left me, at the time, custody of my 12-year-old son. And their reasonings for taking away my children were I was a substance user, even though I was on no substances. And even if that were true, which it's not, wouldn't that be neglect on their part for leaving my 12-year-old with me?
Not necessarily, but it's a very rare situation where you can get one child taken away, but not another child taken away. Did you ever get your children back?
No. What happened was my daughters, this is when they closed my case with my son. It all started because I went to a mental hospital because I was overwhelmed and pregnant. And I went to a mental hospital, and I needed a break from my family, and my emotions were all over the place. And then I got there, they drug tested me, and I tested positive for marijuana when I was pregnant, but my doctor knew about it. He said it was my discretion. Anyways, they were mandated reporters, so they mandated reported me, and I opened up a voluntary case with DCFS as a result of all this, and I complied. I complied with their case plan, even though their reasoning for opening up a case was non-existent at all. They opened the case for no reason, literally no reason. Even the documents say no reason. It says No, nothing. So they opened up the case, and I complied. And then when the case expired in August of 2017, my worker said it's expired, and she wanted me to renew the contract. And I told her, okay, well, since I'm not on drugs, can they take off the demand for or the request for a drug program? Because I needed to go back to work. We were living in a motel, and we were trying to get stabilized, and I couldn't afford time-wise a drug program. And she said she would ask her supervisor, and her supervisor said that she would just take me to court then. So I said, fine, take me to court. When they took me to court, my allegations were I was a hydrocodone addict with a history of hydrocodone use and all the stuff that they made up. And, of course, this is based on 2 positive tests on a voluntary case. After I had my daughter in May, which was 5 months earlier, the doctor had prescribed me Percocet. And the worker knew about it. My worker knew about it. She didn't have any problem with it. I showed her the bottle. That was that. And so I said, Your Honor, I have a prescription for that. They gave me a court date for another month to bring in my prescription. So I said, okay. I talked to my worker right after. My worker couldn't believe my allegations. She said her supervisor had picked from her report to make those allegations against me, which I couldn't believe. But anywho, I went and got copies of my prescription from CVS. So I got copies from the doctor. I got copies from the hospital. And I faxed it to them. And I was going for my court date in October 2017. And I was going to show them my prescription. And my public defender said that they were going to leave me alone. And they, the whole day just lagged on. About 3:30 in the afternoon, they put in a last minute as a warrant approved to take my daughters, not my son, from me, not from their dad, although they took him from both of us. And they had no choice but to continue the case because it was at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Well, Jennifer, let me ask you this. Did you end up getting your children back?
What was that? I'm still fighting for them now.
Okay, and how long have you been fighting for them?
It's been over 2 years. I'm still fighting for them because of this whole corruptness of the whole system. It's just so corrupt. And if they were to give me my daughters back, then that would be admitting that a judge substantiated allegations that were false. So that's why they haven't given in. I recently just got a lawyer as of last week.
Good.
I got a lawyer.
Good.
I'm sorry?
I said that's good.
That is good because I've gone through probably about 6 public defenders. Every time I go to court, there's a new public defender. They're trying to take my rights away, even though I am complying still, even though I shouldn't even have to comply because I didn't do anything wrong in the first place. But after they took my daughters, they left me my son, and then they cut my income size because I was dependent on the county at that time because I didn't go back to work yet. They cut my income size from a family of 5 to a family of 2, just me and my son, so that they took the dad off the case. And then I was timed out in LA County, so I was only getting CashApp for my son. So can you imagine, we're in a motel. Can you imagine where that landed me and my son up at?
Right, but I'm glad to hear that you got an attorney and an attorney's going to be helping you. I want to thank you.
He is an attorney, but he's not a dependency attorney, so he's trying to...
Wait, hold it, Jennifer. Stop.
Okay.
You probably should try to get a dependency attorney. I
tried, and I have tried over and over again, but
that's critical.
So much money. I know this. This is why I'm glad I got an attorney. He's doing this for me for very cheap price. He's a 22 years experience. He's a very good attorney.
Well,
just
that's
not
good.
In that department. He's willing to educate himself in that department, and that's the only help I'm able to get. Because every dependency lawyer wants $10,000 retainer or more.
Right.
And I just cannot afford that right now, given the circumstances and this roller coaster that I've been on.
Okay.
I haven't gone back to school. I haven't gone back to work. My ex-fiancé is schizophrenic on the streets, homeless now because of this.
Okay,
they weren't even supposed to be taken from him in the first place. He wasn't even marked on the warrant.
Jennifer, I want to thank you. I have to take a commercial break and pay some bills, but thank you for calling and thank you for sharing your story. We'll be back.
I'm not completely done yet. If possibly I could finish, that would be awesome.
Okay, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask the call screener to put you on hold, and we'll come back to you right after the commercial break. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. We'll be right back.